So good evening, friends. Jen here, and welcome to my page, Artistic Painting Studio, where this is just a fun, creative community, and we're gonna have a blast tonight. Tonight is our dollar store crafting night, but we're Halloween inspired. And then I chose, okay, I'm gonna hold it backwards for you. Okay, I chose this one to start with tonight because I thought this would be really cute. Happy Halloween, and we're just gonna have fun with this cutout. So I'm gonna take off, they've got some little ends on here. I'm not sure if I can shove it back through. Oh, it looks like I can. So I'm gonna thread that through so I can take that off because we don't wanna paint the string, okay? But again, it was just Dollar Tree decor. So it's really inexpensive, and go find yourself some, okay? If you haven't gone yet, you better hurry up because I bet you they're gonna get sold out. Okay, so I'm gonna get going here and start painting. And I am going to base coat, but anytime you're doing something that's really intricate, whether it's a design or words and you've got a lot of cuts, it's easier to pounce on your paint. So that's why I'm using the foam brush, or go grab yourself like makeup sponges. And Dollar Tree carries those. I just forgot to buy them when I was there. And you're gonna find that this is a great way to get the paint on without it running down the sides, okay? And it just makes your life a little simpler, okay? So when you are pouncing, it's gonna be really textured, so I kind of go back after it's been on there for a few seconds and kind of pounce over again and just soften out some of that texture so it's not really heavy. Because foam tends to either leave a little extra texture, or sometimes you can get bubbles from the foam brushes. So just go back and re-pounce over it. That'll soften everything out. Okay, so I'm gonna hold this up because I want you guys to see how it's kind of heavily textured, especially on the E right now. So when I pounced over it, like I pounced over this side here where the H is, it's a little bit softer, and that's because I double pounced, okay? So just come back and even kind of get to the flat side where you don't have a lot of paint on your brush, and just smooth it out a little bit. That way you're not gonna have a heavy texture from using a foam applicator. And I don't mind the texture, I just don't want it to be really heavy, okay? But I think the texture looks pretty cool coming through the foils. But that's just my personal opinion. I think sometimes it gives them just a whole new dimension. But this is how I definitely apply anything that has a lot of cuts. Okay, so this is the texture that I did. I brushed on our texture medium with just a chip brush, which gave me a linear strié look in the background. And then I used Jagged Lines is the roller that I chose because I just wanted that really kind of cool lines that were just really, I don't know, the jagged lines reminds me of Halloween. I don't know how to describe it. I just feel like it just kind of enhances that whole look. So I thought this would be really cool for our background. And we've got to let this dry. This is going to take hours to dry, so there's no way we're going to get to this part tonight. And we're going to speed dry, okay? Okay, sorry about that. I don't think there's any other way to kind of get things moving and cook them quick, okay, other than blow dry. I'm letting that just kind of cool off because I don't like working over something that's hot. So let's just make sure that that's not thoroughly dry, but dry enough to maybe get to our next layer. And I didn't do a perfect paint job. I can see there's some areas that a little bit of my wood is still peeking through, but that doesn't bother me at all. And we're just gonna go ahead and move right on forward. And definitely, I could have issues here, okay? This is not normally how I do things. I normally paint something and let it thoroughly dry before I go forward, instead of going ahead, painting it, blow drying it, and throwing on another product. But tonight, we're just gonna go for this. So I'm gonna pull out some of my foil adhesive. But if you haven't seen foil adhesive before, It is like the stickiest of sticky glues that you'll ever have. It looks milky white in the container. It goes on looking milky white and then dries perfectly clear. Now I like to let it, to thin it down a little bit when I'm brushing it on. Even though I'm going to be using a foam brush, I still want to thin this down a little bit because that's pretty thick, okay? So if you're brushing it on, no matter if yours is new or old, always add 1 to 2% water with it. If you're rolling it on, you can go directly out of the container. If you're going to stencil with it, go directly out of the container. Don't have to add water, okay? But when I'm pouncing it on and brushing it on, I tend to like to definitely thin it down a little bit. So we're just going to put this on the same way that I applied the paint, okay? So we're going to get a nice coat of the foil adhesive. And I'm going to tell you guys a couple of things about the foil adhesive. Now, I always tell everybody, please, please, please wait an hour for this to dry before you go forward. We're going to wait for this to dry up a little bit, okay? Back to our Dollar Tree, okay? I want to do my bats in the Melody. So I'm going to cut some little pieces, and I'm going to try really hard because I have now put foil adhesive on the entire surface, okay? So that means I've got to try to foil pretty carefully. So let's see if I can get this just on the bat. And I think, oops, lift that back up, okay, come back here. Okay, I'm just going to have to cut this one corner off. And I think I just about got it, okay? So you see how I'm doing that? I'm just positioning right where I need it, okay? And that way I'm just going to do the bat. We're going to get out our toothbrush and scrub, because this is going to be great. So once you get like your bats covered and certain little areas, then it'll be easy to come in and do the rest of the letters. Okay, so I figured if I isolated the bats, there's 3 of them, and then did the pumpkin, then it would be really easy to come in and do the Halloween, okay? And I think I'm going to do that purple. So let's see. Oh, gosh. Okay. So, like I said, this is pushing it, okay? This foil adhesive, this is really, really fresh, okay? And so one little piece did not want to stick, okay? So I'm going to have to probably do a little repair there. And that's just part of it, okay? That's part of playing when your surface is really not ready, okay? So when I talk about letting things dry, this is why I let things dry more, okay? So I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to have to piece this one a little bit. It was going to work because I was cheating, okay? And moving ahead way too fast. So I'm just doing little pieces and trying to fill in. And I know that I can't scrub too hard because that made some of the glue actually come off. But not too bad, okay, for not allowing it to dry well enough. But the bats look really cool with the Melody foil on them. I'm going to really like that. That's fun. Okay, so we have got our bats going, which is really cool. So let's go for our pumpkin. And I think I might as well do orange. Okay, I haven't done orange tonight. And I think the orange is really going to look great. Okay, I'm just going to kind of create something a little bit more curved, okay, as I'm cutting my foil here, so that this might fit on my pumpkin a little bit better. Oh, let's do this, okay? let's be smarter. Let's get smart here, Jen. Okay, so I'm gonna put my foil underneath my pumpkin. And what, do I have something to write with? I do, okay. So I'm going to create some lines here where I can cut that a little bit more precise, okay? So that'll give me a better idea of how small a piece to cut. And this is not going to be perfect by any means, but it's going to be better than just trying to eyeball that. Because I'm going to try. I'm trying really hard to keep, trying to keep my colors within their lines. We'll see how I do here. Oh, not too bad on that side. Oh. Okay, I'm a little off, but yeah, I'm definitely a little off, you guys. That was humor. Okay, I don't like that point going up at the top, so let's get rid of that. Okay, this is being a little tedious, but once I get down these colors, then I can do all the rest of it at one time, because then the whole rest of the words are going to be the same. So let's check. These little pieces are kind of tricky to pull back up, but oh my gosh, that orange is awesome. Okay, look at that. Okay, so now we can just finish it off with our purple. Oh, this is going to be so cool. Okay, now it's going to get easy. Okay. Okay, so you can see now that it's attaching to the rest of the letters, and we're going to see what this looks like. Because so this is our purple rain, okay, which is so stinking pretty. Okay, I'm trying to do it by rubbing it because I don't want to really scrub over the other foils that I've already transferred. Because when you got foil over foil, sometimes you can kind of scratch your background. So I'm trying to just do this by rubbing, but this is releasing really, really nice. And this is cheating, you guys. This is definitely not as dry. Okay, I had to use a blow dryer tonight to kind of speed things up. And that's not my normal way of doing things. So even with speeding up the process, this is turning out really, really cute. Okay, I am tickled pink with this. Tickled purple, okay? I love these kind of projects. How fun. Okay, so anywhere where you just want to, if you feel like you missed a little spot, you can always go back. But I'm hoping that shows really well on the screen. Oh my gosh, this is so, so fun, you guys. So thanks for hanging out with me.